Welcome to Dirt Pit Outdoors. We're out at the good old Dirt Pit again to do a little demonstration of the 9mm versus 357 SIG. A lot of people say that the SIG is not much better than the 9mm, but I want to find out. So what I did is I have the same brand of ammo, SIG Elite Performance. The 9mm is in 124 grain jacketed hollow point, and the 357 SIG is in 125 grain. So there's a 1 grain difference, but not enough, I think, to make a difference. So to make this fair, I have a Glock 17 and I have a Glock 31, and so they're both full-size Glocks and same size barrels, so we should get a pretty good comparison on how well the round actually does against each other. So let's see if there's any real difference between factory loads, at least. And I do have some reloads that I've made up in 115 grain for both, but we'll visit that here in a minute. So let's get these loaded up and get started. Here we go. 124 grain SIG Sauer Elite Performance jacketed hollow point, 9mm. Well, let's go check it out. So we shot the 9mm into our gel block. Got a truly impressive, neat looking pattern here. And you can see it a little better on this side. Mike, if you want to pan around. But this is a 16-inch gel block. We improved it, but you can tell it's immediate expansion and goes all the way to about right here. And then we got bullet stoppage in the gel. So definitely performed very, very nice. All right, so now we're gonna do the 357 SIG out of a Glock 31, and this is a 125 grain jacketed hollow point SIG Sauer Elite and 357 SIG. So the 357 SIG definitely has a more impressive wound channel by far, almost doubling the 9mm. If you can see, it does not appear that it went as far as the 9mm, so the penetration wasn't as well. But look at this massive energy transfer right here, even cracked the top of the block. So that is just massive compared to the 9mm. So as far as the gel test, I would definitely say 357 Magnum has more energy, more power, and more devastation on target. Let's shoot some bottles and see how many we can penetrate and what the damage is shooting our gallon water jugs. Be right back with you. All right, so we got our 9mm and the 124 grain SIG Elite jacketed hollow point. So now we're going to shoot our gallon water jugs, see what kind of penetration we get on the water jugs, and see what kind of massive damage it does on these first jugs. All right, let's get started. 3, 2. So here's our first water jug. It split it completely open. Very nice. Had some hydrostatic shock on the second one. Looks like it broke it open where the handle is. And we penetrated into the third. So let's see if we can recover this projectile. So again, we had great expansion. Look at those petals. That is just a beautiful hollow point. Did really nice. Didn't lose anything. Nice uniform expansion. It is just really, really nice hollow point. All right, let's do some 357 SIG on the same test and see what we get. Now let's try the 357 SIG 125 grain jacketed hollow point 6 hour elite on our gallon water jugs and see what kind of explosion we have with this. Here we go. 3. So here we are. It completely exploded the first jug, and it just broke the second one all to pieces at every seam. Looks like we have pieces of the jacket, and I do believe I have a bullet in the second jug. Looks like we had jacket separation, and all we have is the inside of the lead core and some petals. Massive energy transfer on that round, obviously, if it's tearing up the projectile. Well, let's try it one more time and see what kind of results we get on a second shot with it. Be right back with you. So here we are, our second shot with 357 SIG. As you can see, it definitely has a lot more punch than the 9mm, as well as spraying me down with water. And that's probably 5 yards right there that I shot it at. So as you can see, it hit and split the second jug, and there are also petals down in the second jug, and it entered the third jug, and that is where our projectile is. Let's get these petals out. So 4 of the petals split off in the second jug. And there's our projectile, completely ripped up, but definitely expanded. Look at that. And you say that the 357 SIG doesn't have as much power as the 9mm, or the same amount of power as a 9mm? I don't think so. Alright, I'm going to shoot some hand loads that I did in 115 grain. First with a 9mm that you saw in the last video, and then some 115 grain on the 357 SIG. So let's get those loaded up and see what happens. Alright, so for the 9mm, I still have the 115 grain FTX bullets, or rounds, that were used in the last video for the 9mm. So we are at a little bit of a disadvantage, I guess, with this little tip in here. but I seriously don't think that it's going to make a difference due to the power difference. So I've got both of these loaded. This is a 115 grain Hornady XTP, just like in the last video, but this is in 357 SIG. So let's shoot these and kind of compare and see what we get out of the performance. All right, let's get started. All right, here we go. This is our first bottle with that FTX. It definitely split it open and destroyed it completely. Our second bottle had some hydrostatic shock breakage. There's the impact, went through it. And we have our projectile in the third jug. So here we go. We have our little flex tip as well as our projectile. Definitely expanded very well. So there we go. That's a 9mm 115 grain XTP. So let's try our 357 SIG in the same bullet weight, same manufacturer. So let's get started. All right, so 357 SIG definitely has more power than a 9mm. This is our first jug and it completely annihilated it. Our second jug, it split it all over the place. And it penetrated our third jug and actually bounced off our fourth jug and gave us this projectile on the table. And as you can see, it bent it all back. So tell me that doesn't have more power than a 9mm. Definitely did some damage. So what's my take on this? 357 SIG definitely has more power than a 9mm. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing? I'm going to shoot this 357 SIG. I'm going to shoot this into that, and it's going to explode. Here we go. Man, that was perfect.
I know at one point in the video I say 357 Magnum, but I meant 357 SIG. So thanks for watching our videos, and remember, we're just a bunch of rednecks having a good old time, so don't take us serious. Alright, till next time.